The Treasured Wetlands of Nova Scotia program really aims to connect the public with wetlands that we have in Nova Scotia. Some are more important for carbon sequestration. Some are really important for flood mitigation, so they act as sponges on the landscape. And also they're really great recreational areas too.
Hi, I'm Izzy Clark and I'm a Conservation Program Specialist with Ducks Unlimited Canada. So today we're here in beautiful Pleasant River to remove some glossy buckthorn, which is an invasive species that is infringing on a lovely red maple floodplain here. Invasives are an issue in general because they crowd out our lovely native species, and wetland ecosystems are generally quite sensitive, so it's easy for invasives to come in and carve a niche in them.
So we are out with a few nonprofit groups as well as some amazing volunteers to remove glossy buckthorn, an invasive species, from the area. Glossy buckthorn is a particularly challenging invasive species to remove because it grows so vigorously. It can take over yards and ditches and fields and even forests. So when you're facing invasive species like glossy buckthorn, it can be quite daunting because they tend to take over an area quite vigorously and just become the dominant thing. So you can see it and be like, oh, well, I can't make a difference. But the reality is that you can. We've had about 30 volunteers out this afternoon for a few hours, and you can see a noticeable difference.
What makes it an invasive species specifically is that it outcompetes our native species. So glossy buckthorn is a medium-sized shrub that will just completely overtake a wetland and take resources from the native species that make that ecosystem function properly. So glossy buckthorn can grow to about 6 feet in height after a number of years. It has multiple stems and it has woody growth. One of the big issues though is that it produces poisonous berries. Oftentimes birds will eat these berries to fatten up before their winter migration, and it can make them pretty sick, so it has a big impact on a wide range of biodiversity.
I'd really like to thank the dedicated volunteers that have spent their Saturday, and it's a very hot Saturday, to come out and help remove this invasive species. I mean, without them, today wouldn't have been possible.